Hey, what's up guys? Sean from the Nerd Lair here. Thanks for tuning into this video where today in the Nerd Lair I have 3 different camera angles. Woo! And as you know, if you follow me on social media, I was recently in Japan on vacation and picked up a lot of things, and I'm going to show you what I got. I'm not going to show you prices because it's a lot of money. Anyway, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to show you guys is I picked up a black DS Lite and a white Japanese 3DS. Oh yeah, look at that. The black and white contrast. Mwah, beautiful. They're pretty pristine. They were actually pretty cheap. They didn't come with chargers, so I had to buy those separately. But yeah, the DS Lite is region free. This one is not. So all the Japanese games that I bought, I had to get this. So it was required. So with the 3DS that I bought some 3DS games. First one, Concept Saga. This game is like a tactical card game, if you will, turn-based. It's really cool. If you haven't played one of those, go check them out. They're not super hard to find, at least the current ones, and I have a newfound appreciation for train games. Yes! I was playing a train game simulator in one of the arcades, and I don't know, something just clicked in my head, and I bought them. I had to. I kind of get why people like train games now. You can see this one, it's all by the same people. I can't remember what they're called. Let's Go by Train. I think that's the series. Another train game. Beautiful, beautiful. And another, it's like a fall-autumn train game. Sure. I bought them because they're fun. I don't know why I think they're fun, they just are. Newfound appreciation, like I said. Next up, I bought one Switch game because it's a shoot 'em up. Siberia? I think that's how you say it. Siberia Delta. I think so. This one, it's a, like I said, top-down shooter, shoot 'em up, whatever. Looks really cool, and you can't get it in America, so that's why I picked it up. Alright, so next up we have the original DS games that I got. I got quite a few of these because they were cheap. First one I got was Taiko Drum Master. If you haven't played a Taiko Drum Master, go watch my Let's Get Nostalgic video that I did with the Button Bashers, because I did a little review on the PlayStation 2 version of this. It's a rhythm game using taiko drums. It's really fun. Next up, I got a Tingle game. Never played this before, did not come to the States, but it looked really bizarre. Really like the colors and the holographic hearts on the front. And as you can see, it's just a Tingle game. It's really weird. I think it's called Balloon Love Adventure or something. A really, really odd game. Never played it before. Next, if you know anything about me, even a little, you know that I love Detective Conan. And if I must say, one of my fantasy jobs is being a gumshoe detective. Probably never be one, but that's why we have fantasies, right? Detective Conan, or Case Closed, is one of my favorite animes of all time. These games kind of play like the Ace Attorney games, where you're deducing, you're finding clues, and you're determining who did it. Who done it? Who done it? Next, we have 2 games. Dawn 1 and Dawn 2. Now, if you've played Elite Beat Agents here in the States, you will probably be fairly familiar with these. I think that game is based off of these. It's the same exact type of gameplay, except these ones have way better songs, and the animations are pretty funny. Like, this plays a little music video throughout the game that tells a story for each song, and they're awesome. These games are great. I played these way back in the day when the DS first came out, and I got it at Pink Gorilla, back then known as Pink Godzilla. Fun fact. And last for the DS games, no, there's another one, but that'll come later. Chocobo Tales. I already had this game in America, but I wanted it for Japanese because the cover's super cute, and the game is really fun. Yeah. Woohoo! Alright, next up we have the one PSP game that I got, which is Dot Hack Links, or just Dot Hack Link. This one, I've never played it before because, again, it did not come to the States, but it comes with a lot of stuff. If you can see that, let me get a close-up of that. comes with .hack Link the Game, .hack Rebirth Disc and Historical Disc, and we have Epitaph of Old Testament and Epitaph of New Testament. I am a huge .hack fan, so I had to pick this up. It was a no-brainer. It was really cheap too. I can't remember how much, but cheap enough for me to want to buy it. Let's see, so many choices. Here we go. I'll just get this out of the way. So again, newfound appreciation for train games, so I ended up picking up this giant controller for PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, Let's Go by Train, the game franchise. So you can play the train games like in the arcade. Comes with the little lever, the brake, and yeah, I kind of went overboard with the trains. I'm sorry. So, if you follow me on social media, you'll know that I recently got, well, I got it in Japan. I recently got a Famicom disk system. Now I'll show a little bit of footage of it. As far as the console itself, it's an attachment that goes below your Famicom system, and it basically is the same type of system as a Famicom, but the games come on these neat little cards. They're like little floppy disks, Nintendo floppy disks. But basically these hold more storage, the graphics are a little bit better, the sound is a little bit better, and they actually did have some Famicom disk system only games along with all of the Famicom games that were re-released on this, and you could actually rewrite new games onto these. If you went to a little kiosk at a convenience store in Japan, and of course this was only in Japan, so I thought that was pretty cool. So I got some Gundam game, I got Ultraman, some detective game. Again, I love detective stuff. The Adventures of Chetran. This is Milo and Otis, that movie with the little orange cat and the pug, I think it was. The making of that movie is pretty horrific. I'm not going to go into details, but let's just say that this cat on the cover is not the same cat at the end of the movie. Next up we have Reflect World. I don't know what this is, never played it, never heard of it before. It sounded cool, it's a sci-fi game. And then we have Golf, and this one's pretty cool. Most of the Famicom disk system games were actually yellow, and I think these were the ones that were rewritable. They're like blue, and they have a little cover over the magnetic strip. So yeah, pretty cool to see a blue one. Very nice, very nice. And oh yeah, one more thing. Let's just get this back in there. I also got a Famicom disc cleaner, and this thing's pretty cool. It wouldn't be something that you would want to use now, at least this one. So you stick your games in there, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little strip right here that would clean the magnetic strip on the disc. But this one's a little old and cracking and falling apart. I would not trust it to clean my disk system games, but it's cool to have. It's in the box. It's, you know, something old from something that we never got here, so it's kind of cool to have it in the box. It's just a nice little accessory. So that's it for the Famicom disk system games. Alright, next up I guess we'll go with the original Xbox games, because these are very scarce in Japan. The Xbox just never took off for obvious reasons. It's an American console, and Japan is, well, they're kind of racist. There's certain places that you can't go if you're a foreigner in Japan. They just won't let you in, so I'd say that's kind of just a little racist, but yeah, whatever. It's Japan. They're fucking weird. Anyway, first game that I picked up was Jet Set Radio Future. This is a classic game, one of the first games that I ever played on the original Xbox, and if you've played a Jet Set game before, you'll know why I love it so much. Next up is Gun Valkyrie. This game I played well into the lifespan of the original Xbox. It's a fairly good third-person shooter, nothing to write home about, but I really like the cover on this one. And lastly, Panzer Dragoon Orta. And this was the first game that I ever got for the original Xbox, and it holds a special place in my heart, along with all of the other Panzer Dragoon games. They're kind of like flight rail shooters, but you're riding on dragons, so it's pretty cool. Next up, Do I Dare? Yes, if you go to Japan, you're going to find a lot of booby games, and I picked this one mainly because the actual game looks really fun. I don't know what it's called, but it's a hentai PC game. It's a hentai PC game. Whew. Yeah, I'm not going to show you the boobs, because YouTube will demonetize this video faster than you could say boobs. So yeah, I'll just show you the gameplay. If you can see that, yeah, it's like a standard mech game, but there's sex. But it's a big box PC game. I had to pick it up. I mean, come on, who doesn't like big boobs? Or small boobs? All boobs. Who doesn't like boobs? Next up, another PC game. This is called Power Dolls, and I got it mainly because it was $2. And it comes in this really cool hard plastic Neo Geo box case thing. But look at the art on this. This is just awesome. And you know your boy loves some giant robots. And last of the PC games, it's another big one. Dungeon Master Chaos Strikes Back. Yeah, this one, the art on this one again is really awesome, and that's mainly the reason why I picked it up. It's also kind of reminiscent of Wizardry, which we'll get to those in a second. It's a first-person dungeon crawler, and yeah, it just looks awesome, so I picked it up. I'm never going to be able to play it. I don't know if you need an actual Japanese PC in order to play it, but it's cool. It's cool to have. It looks good on a shelf. The spine, look at that. Looks awesome. Look at that. Look at that. Spine, cover, awesome. How about some PlayStation 2 games? So, first off, we have Rez. If you don't know what Rez is, well, do yourself a favor and go pick this up, boy, because this is kind of like Panzer Dragoon. It's like a rail shooter where you play as a god, I guess. It's like a weird digital person. Let me get a shot of that. This one was cheap as well, but here in the States, it's not cheap at all. It's not. Yeah, you probably can't even find it, at least on PS2. Oh, this game is so good. But the thing about this game is that it plays really cool, like kind of trancey techno music as the soundtrack, and everything that you do in this game, as far as like targeting enemies, shooting enemies, and other stuff like that, goes with the beat of the actual song that's playing. So it's really intense and just really pleasing to play. Feel it, don't think, is what it says on the back. So do what they say. Next up, we I don't remember picking this one up before. Where some form of Elfish. I can't read it. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. It's beautiful. Anyway, next up we have Go by Train 3. Yes, another train game from the Nerd Lair. This game, it actually, you need the controller that I bought with it. You don't need it, but it makes the game a lot more enjoyable, trust me. So yeah, pick this up. I like train games now, what can I say? That's all I can say. Next we have, I don't necessarily like Dirge of Cerberus, but it is, it was a fun game, I guess. I don't really necessarily like Final Fantasy VII as much as most people, but the cover for this one is really cool. I like it more than the American cover. The only thing I really don't like about this game is that it was super short. Other than that, it's fine, you know? It's like Devil May Cry, except you play as Vincent instead of Dante. And last of the PS2 games, I didn't realize that this game was actually sealed brand new, even though it says new right there. Because everything's sealed in Japan, whether the store does it or, you know, whatever, but everything is in some sort of plastic. But I got Wizardry, what is this, Empire 3, Ancestry of the Emperor. Yeah, this one I just pulled out of the shelf and it happened to be a Wizardry game, so I picked it up because Wizardry! Yeah! Alright, next up we have the Ultima. I don't know which Ultima this is, but I had the loose cart that I got somehow. I don't normally buy loose carts, but now I have the box for it, and it's a really nice little box. It's super anime, which is most games in Japan, just everything. Even if it wasn't originally anime, they make it anime, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, Ultima. The one GameCube game that I got. Never played it before. I want to say it was on North American consoles, but I don't think it was. It's called Kyojin no Doshin, and you play as a dopey, like, giant god thing, and just looked really interesting. So I picked it up. He's happy, you know? He's a happy big boy. Alright, so we're down to our 2 final stacks, and we're just going to go with the Wizardry stack. I'm going to go through these ones pretty quick. I got Wizardry, Knight of Diamonds. This is on the Famicom. The cool thing about these Wizardry games on the Famicom is that each one, when you bought them new back in the day, each one was seeded with one monster card. Get a close-up of that. And this is the Smog Beast. And each game had a different monster card, so the chance of you getting like a rare one meant nowadays the game is worth more because it has a rare monster card, and I thought that was pretty cool. Very collectible. But the Wizardry games, for me, is my favorite RPG of all time. Favorite franchise. This one's Legacy of Liligammon. And again, these come with monster cards. These 3, this one, the one I just dropped, and then these 2 are on the Famicom, and they all come with monster cards, which is pretty cool. But this series started out in 1980, and it was kind of what influenced or inspired the Dragon Quest series, which I thought was pretty cool. They're first-person RPGs, turn-based RPGs, dungeon crawlers, that kind of thing. Super fantasy, and I have it tattooed on my my knuckles. Cool, huh? Anyway. Next up is, what was this one called? Oh yeah, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. Again, another Famicom game. Super cool. I love Wizardry. If you're really interested and want to check out why I love this series so much, just, I don't know, watch a video on it on YouTube. I might be doing a retrospective on this franchise because I love it so much in the future. I'm not exactly sure when. I kind of want to get more games before I do that. Next game I got on the DS is Wizardry. I don't know what the title of that is, but it's Wizardry, so I had to pick it up. Next up, you guessed it, more Wizardry. I'm just going to do these 2 real quick. I have this one, the American version, boxed, Heart of the Maelstrom, and then this one is Bane of the Cosmic Forge. Super Famicom, super cool, super Wizardry. And our last stack, yes. Oh, but you thought the Wizardry games were over. I'm just going to get through this one. The Liligammon Saga on the PlayStation 1. Yes, more Wizardry games. This one was fairly expensive. It is in perfect condition, though, and I thought it was actually sealed, like from the factory, but it's not. Got this at a store called Trader, and they do, it's like a tiered store. Each tier or floor has a different hobby. So one tier has cards, you know, manga, video games, PC games, movies, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, if you're ever in Japan, go check out Trader. I bought a lot of stuff from them. Next up on the PlayStation 1, Tales of Eternia. I love the Tales of series, and so does my roommate Sean. Other Sean, you've probably seen him in a couple of my videos. He has pretty much all of the games of these. I only have a few, but I picked these up because they were cheap. I'm never going to be able to play them because I can't read Japanese. I mean, I could play them, but it would be very difficult. Next up is Tales of Destiny, the first Tales of game that I ever played. I remember begging my mother to buy this for me on eBay back when eBay first started, and I don't know, it just brings back good memories seeing this this cover, so had to pick it up. It's also really cheap. All the Tales of games in North America are extremely expensive, and it pisses me off, but I mean, for good reason. They're really fun games. Next up, this one was $3. Intelligent Cube. Can you believe it? Yeah, just imagine finding this complete in box, wrapped. I mean, it's not factory wrapped, but like I said, they wrap all of their games in plastic in Japan, even if they're used, because condition is everything when you're a collector. $3 for Intelligent Cube. Fuck yeah. Why not? And the last 3 games I got are for Sega Saturn. The first one is Christmas Nights into Dreams. This is the Christmas themed version of Nights into Dreams. Only came out in Japan, and yeah, it's on the Sega Saturn. I like these jewel cases for the Sega Saturn games in Japan because they actually fit on a shelf, whereas the Sega Saturn games in North America are like this tall, and they just don't fit on a shelf, at least a normal shelf. Virtua Cop. I loved this game growing up in the arcade as a kid. It's just a really cool rail shooter, or light gun shooter, whatever you want to call it. Virtua Cop, it's a classic. If you haven't played it, I mean, there's probably better games to play now, but nostalgia. That's what my channel's all about, man. And lastly, I have Ogre Battle for the Sega Saturn. These games are also super rare in North America. If you can find them, this one's a little beat up. It was in the bargain bin. I think this was like $1 or something. But yeah, $1 for an Ogre Battle game. That's just unheard of here. You'd be paying like 50 bucks or more, and that's just for the cart over here in North America. So yeah, there you go. And that was pretty much everything I picked up, aside from... My cat's been chomping on the plastic, but this whole bag is full of games for some of my YouTuber buddies. You'll probably see videos of theirs if they even do a video on it. I don't know. If they do, you're welcome. Don't need to thank me or anything. I did it because I love you guys. Anyway, if you liked this video and you like what you saw, you liked me, try to click that like button. Even if you had never clicked it before, just click it and see how it feels. You might like it, and it might feel good. We'll see what happens. Click that like button. And if you enjoyed the video, also hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, because it really helps me out. Lets me know that you guys want to see more content every week, and you know, keeps me coming back and making videos for you guys. And the bell icon, well, hitting the subscribe button is just not enough anymore on YouTube. So in order to get notified about new videos that I put out, you have to hit the bell icon, which is really stupid, but you know, hey, I gotta do the hustle. You know, it's the end of the video hustle. So thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and click some of the videos that will be on screen after this. And yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time in the Nerd Lair. Stay nostalgic.